What's up, beautiful people? Today we're back with another video that again is going to be talking about Justin Trudeau. We've had a lot of those in the channel recently, and it turns out a lot of these people are not making videos praising Justin Trudeau. I wonder why that is, if you're also wondering. This one is titled Trudeau Forced to Flee as Protesters Mob Him. Let's get to it.
It's no secret that people are tired of Justin Trudeau. So much so that the Prime Minister was literally bombarded with protesters while having dinner at a restaurant in Vancouver. For Trudeau, this angry mob was yet another sign that his popularity is quickly dwindling. After 8 years of his reign, Trudeau's policies have left many Canadians feeling the squeeze. Between the costly carbon tax, a severe housing crisis, and inflation soaring to levels not seen in decades, the financial stress on ordinary people is at an all-time high. Before, discontent with Trudeau and his Liberal government was simmering just below the surface, but now it's boiling over. Is Justin Trudeau's empire finally coming to an end? Find out in today's video. Welcome back to Street Politics Canada. On November 14th, Trudeau was bombarded with protesters while he was cozying up at a Vancouver restaurant. With protesters...
Oh, I know this place. Yeah, I do know this place.
...outside chanting, "Justin Trudeau, you can't hide."
Justin Trudeau, you can't hide. You're committing genocide.
This is intense.
From his lofty...
And also, I mean, it's a little bit different. Maybe it's a good thing, as a matter of fact, that a prime minister, a leader of a nation could, be easily approached in this manner. If the Nigerian president was at a restaurant, I don't think there would be anybody at least 100 meters around a restaurant. I'm just saying it's different in other countries. So this is something Canada, has won up on a lot of nations. But I just wanted to comment. I was reading this book. I just completed this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. This book about criticism and addressing if somebody might have wronged you or done something that you don't like. They said using an approach of love is a better way to make people change. Can that be applied here? I'm asking because a lot of times in the videos we've seen, people tend to criticize Justin Trudeau, smash him in comments, people wreck him, as a matter of fact, in the videos we've seen. Is there a way we can convey our message with love to get him to understand and respect where we're coming from? Is there a likelihood that could be done? Let me know what you think of that.
...perch in Ottawa, Trudeau seemed distant from the daily struggles of citizens, but being hounded by protesters in his own city drove home the fact that after 8 years of the Liberal government, support is waning fast. As Trudeau hurriedly wrapped up his meal under a din of shouts and jeers, it was clear that his leadership is facing a perfect storm. His vision for the country no longer aligns with the realities ordinary Canadians are facing. Some Canadians might look back at when he was first elected and remember his popularity and hopeful vision for the future, which inspired political change. But a lot has changed since 2015, something Trudeau is gradually realizing. What happened in these 8 years that Canadians are so disappointed with Trudeau that he is mobbed outside of a restaurant? With skyrocketing prices and an escalating housing crisis, Canadians can barely afford basic necessities. So much so that under Trudeau, Canada hit a new record, but not a good one. Thanks to the financial strain many are experiencing, 2 million Canadians are turning to food banks for resources. Another report from Food Banks Canada found that this year, food bank usage rose to its highest level since the survey started in 1989. When people are struggling to buy food, that is usually the time to find ways...
So that's the highest it's ever been, even since when it started. The year it was started, the year it was prompted to start, it wasn't even this high. I mean, I understand. It's concerning. I understand why people address it in this manner, because it's very concerning.
...support Canadians and reduce costs. But instead, Trudeau has pushed through his notorious carbon tax. This tax not only affects families trying to heat their homes, but it also hurts farmers who create the food those families buy at the grocery store. The tax on farmers and the tax on transportation effectively raises the cost of food as well, something Trudeau has defended by saying his climate action incentive will mitigate the damage done by his policy.
He's putting in place a 41 cent a litre carbon tax that will cost the average family $1,500 more. Why doesn't he axe the trip and axe the tax?
The Honourable Prime Minister. $976, Mr. Speaker. That's what an average family of four in that member's riding will be getting this year with the climate action incentive. That's because not only are we moving forward with a price on pollution that helps fight climate change, but we're giving money back to average families across the country in jurisdictions where it applies that leave 8 out of 10 of them better off. This is how we both fight climate change and support family.
When he said that
But that concept, though, is it a good concept? Isn't it like taking money from people and then giving it back to them even less? Because if an average family is getting to spend $1,500 more and then you're giving them $968 back, but fighting climate change, I don't know if it's helping. And also climate change, I think this is something we can all agree on. At some point, all of us will pass, anyhow you want to put it. So, shouldn't we at least eat first? I'm just saying priorities, right? Like, shouldn't we at least prioritize what matters to us more? I understand climate change is a real thing, it's serious, yeah? But people need food right now. People need lower costs of living right now. People need like real things right now. Shouldn't we prioritize that over what might eventually happen? I don't know. Maybe I'm just very short-sighted. I might be. I don't know. But tell me what you think on, what I just shared. We're just discussing, right?
$900 and something. I thought for a moment that was the price of his New York hotel room. I thought, no, that can't be true. It'll be in the thousands. But Mr. Speaker, he's spreading disinformation again. He promised he was going to censor misinformation. Why doesn't he censor himself? Because look at the information coming from the parliamentary budget officer he appointed, which demonstrates that the average Canadian will spend at least $1,500 more in taxes than they get back in rebates. The Liberals call this report a prop. It's from the parliamentary budget officer, the one they appointed. They're called facts. Will he finally listen to them?
It doesn't seem like Trudeau has effectively prioritized relief for Canadians anywhere in his policy. And while the Liberals under Trudeau have made a big show, of caring about climate change and portraying the Conservatives as climate change deniers, they are set to miss their own 2030 targets, and they didn't meet targets under the Kyoto Protocol or the Paris Agreement either. But in all fairness, eventually Trudeau did listen to the polls, that is.
What caused Justin Trudeau to freak out yesterday and hold a sudden press conference to announce that he was going to pause the carbon tax on home heating oil? The answer is that he was plummeting in the polls, and Pierre Poilievre was holding massive rallies in Liberal-held ridings to axe the tax.
Trudeau hoped his 3-year exemption on home heating oil would be enough to win over voters once again. Boy, was he wrong about that. This move just exposed how big a scam his carbon tax really is. After all, if Trudeau can just reverse policies whenever his polling is down, then it doesn't seem like his climate agenda is as important as he likes to pretend. Not to mention that this reversal offended hardcore environmentalists and Liberal MPs in other ridings who aren't getting the same treatment as those in the Atlantic. And most importantly, Canadians who heat with natural gas or other fuels are furious that heating oil is getting a tax break, but there isn't. Where is the fairness in taxing cleaner natural gas but not high-polluting oil? Basically, Trudeau tried to appease one group but ended up upsetting Canadians across the political spectrum. Now,
same thing happened with the gun laws too. And this has been happening repeatedly with policies from his side. Yeah, there needs to be some kind of like balance and check sometimes.
He's in a no-win situation on the carbon tax issue. It shows the Liberals' climate strategy has major flaws they ignored for years because they could just point fingers at the Conservatives. But now their hypocrisy on the issue is coming back to bite them. Even the NDP is unhappy with Trudeau, since they initially sided with Conservatives on their motion to get rid of the carbon tax. Not just that, but it sounds like Jagmeet Singh and the NDP are at odds with the Liberals' plan for a new national pharmacare program. They've been pushing the Liberals to meet the end-of-year deadline according to their deal to pass legislation, but it doesn't look like the two parties see eye to eye yet. Singh has attacked the Liberals for being too focused on keeping the big pharmaceutical companies happy instead of making sure Canadians can actually afford their meds. Speaking with reporters outside a cooperative housing unit in Toronto, Singh made it clear where he stands on Justin Trudeau's policies.
Right now, the sticking point is the Liberals want to bring in legislation that appeases the big pharmaceutical industry, we don't care about them. We don't want to appease them. We want to make sure Canadians can afford their medication. That's our priority. So that's our difference right now. The Liberals are on the side of big pharmaceuticals. We're on the side of families, working people, seniors, people that need medication. And we believe it should be universal and public and affordable. Our plan would bring down the cost for everybody. And we're going to...
According to a recent report,
Sometimes when I hear the NDP speak against the Liberal, it feels a little bit dramatic to me because they tend to agree on a lot of things, if not everything. So I don't know if I buy the disagreement between stands. I don't know if I buy that.
report by the Parliamentary Budget Officer, their plan would cost the government about $11.2 billion in the first year alone, but lead to long-term savings down the line. Even with only a few weeks left, Singh thinks they can still get something done by the deadline if the Liberals are willing to compromise more. Pharmacare legislation is just the latest sticking point in the NDP and Liberals' relationship. But one thing is for sure, the NDP, the Conservatives, and Canadians everywhere are all collectively sick and tired of Trudeau. It seems this exasperation extends to the world stage as well, since Trudeau faced another uphill battle at the APEC summit in California. Unfortunately, Trudeau is not as charming or as persuasive as he thinks he is, which has only contributed to Canada's deteriorating relationship with India and China. While Prime Minister Modi was not present for the APEC summit, it's difficult to forget how Trudeau's visit to India for the GOP summit ended in shambles last time. Now Canada-India ties are at their lowest point in years after Trudeau fanned anti-Indian sentiment by embracing separatist Khalistani extremists and paused discussions for a trade deal with India. It must have come as a surprise to Trudeau when he looked around for allies in his fight with India and found no one there. It's almost as if other world leaders know better than to get in a fight with India right now. Setting aside the tumultuous relationship with India.
This look at this picture is just too funny. It reminds me of a lot. My mom has this look when you get her mad and you can sense that there's somebody looking at you from the side. I wonder who took this picture. He looks so mad at Justin Trudeau right now. And I'm sure that was not even the context. But it does work here.
Trudeau's relationship with China is also turbulent. Many Canadians are rightly concerned with Chinese election interference and intimidation. With the mutual expulsion of diplomats over leaked CSIS reports, the relationship has sunk to an all-time low. Now, China has accused Canada of carrying out malicious and provocative actions in the South China Sea, which signals what will likely be an escalation in tensions. With this geopolitical backdrop, it's a little puzzling that Trudeau's key talking point at the summit was promoting Canadian efforts to foster more efficient food production and healthier supply chains. So if you're wondering why Trudeau was mobbed outside the restaurant in Vancouver or booed at a concert in Toronto, just pick a reason. There seems to be so many reasons to be dissatisfied with Trudeau these days and so few reasons to be pleased. Polling clearly shows how Canadians feel about the Prime Minister, with over half viewing him negatively. Even Liberals are wondering if it's time for a change in their party leadership. After all, Trudeau has been Prime Minister for 8 years now. That's a lot of time to get to know a person. And after all of his out-of-touch policies, it's easy to see how Canada got to its current state. Well, that's all for now. Do you think Trudeau's empire is finally crumbling? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And if you haven't, please...
Yeah, I'll put the link to the video in the description. But that was a very interesting one. For me, particularly, I don't care who's Prime Minister. I do not care if it's Trudeau, Pierre Poilievre, Jagmeet Singh, or myself. I do not care. What matters to me is the policy. How do the people feel? How are you leading your people? How are you helping your people? As a leader, you're a good leader when everything just works. Like, people do not have to praise you. As a matter of fact, people might not praise you because people only feel something when it's negative. So as a good leader, they might not praise you, but the things just work and they can sense it working. It doesn't matter if it's Trudeau doing it or Pierre Poilievre doing it. So I asked in the other video I had made, if Trudeau was able to make everything go back to normal, do you think his post numbers will go back up? Do you think people would vote for him? Let me know in the comment section. And also don't forget that people are very gullible. If Trudeau forgives like mortgages or car loans or something, or starts paying, I'm hearing rumors that he's going to pay people, or Canadians are going to be receiving $2,000 every month for their expenses. If he starts doing that, I bet you his polls will go through the roof. Let's see what he's gonna do in 2024. Anyways, share your thoughts on that one, smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.